Welcome to Burgin's 5 Stars. We got some good creative 5 stars this week. I hope you've enjoyed all the, my life in general of how I like things and how I like to do things, but also my favorite stars, favorite topics. We're going to continue it on this week with two different ones that we haven't really talked about. And one of them really brought me up because of March Madness. Where are your 5 best places to watch a game? So, again, there's so many different memories I can think of, being with the guys, whether, being in a stadium, whatever the case may be. But where is my favorite 5 places to watch a game? Being at March Madness got me thinking about this more. Number 5 is the backyard and the grill. I know so many people now that have the setup with the TV on the patio and things like that. There's nothing like grilling burgers, grilling chicken, grilling dogs, watching the game, cold drink at your side, whatever your preference is. That's my number 5 spot. The grill's a very place where you can be independent while all the kids are inside with mom. So it obviously some free time as well. So I enjoy that. Having the game on, watching that. That's my number 5. Number 4, Buffalo Wild Wings. Shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe a future sponsor of Tide Tigers one day. You can't beat at B-Dub-Dub. With all the 60 screens, the wings, everything, you cannot beat watching a game at B-Dub-Dub, especially during March Madness time when there's a bunch of games. Not many people have the chance guest set up when there's 60 different screens in his room. I only have 1, maybe 2. B-Dub-Dub gives you...
This is an office made for sports.
Yes. Okay. So, all right. Number 3, the beach/pool. You can't beat watching a game and then going out to paradise right after watching the game. Or also being around a pool while watching the game, having TVs going. There's so many times we've gone down in September now to the beach and watch college football, and then you watch a game and then you can go out to the beach or whatever the case may be, get you some good seafood, all that kind of stuff. It's the being in paradise and also being to watch games. I love being at the beach / the beach pool area for watching games. Number 2, on campus / outside a stadium. Now, some of us that can't afford the big time tickets, or when Auburn plays Alabama or the Gators play Georgia, the best place to go is outside.
You've been to a lot of those.
I have been to a lot of them. A lot of them that I couldn't afford that I still was able to go to. All right, but the best place to go to me is being outside the stadium with all the common folk, all the real people that care about it, not the ones that got the pocketbooks in the bag, but the common folk, and being out there and hearing the roars of the stadium. But it's some of the most exciting times being on the quad at Alabama in particular. I hate it because you can kind of hear the play that goes on before the play happens, but that's kind of a little bit of the best part about it. But being on campus, whether it's, rounders, galettes, or whatever the case may be, watching it with the students or the people that have come down, traveled down, there's not a place like that. Then number 1's the stadium. Again, there's so much of going into a stadium, of being with people you don't even know, and they all have a common purpose. I think that's the best thing about sports, is that you're with so many people that have so many different political beliefs, whatever the case may be, and it brings everybody together for one common goal. And you're slapping hands, and you're having high fives, hugging people you never even met before. And it's like, okay, all right, see you later, until next time. So there's nothing like being in the stadium of sports. You can sit in the box seats. The box seats are nice because you get the free food and the free ice cream, but being down with the people and with popcorn and everything flying all over the place when big plays happen, there is nothing like it, and the stadium's got to be my number 1 choice. All right, next thing. What is the hardest thing to do in sports? Chance, this is going to be something I think you have a little bit different opinions than what I have, but so many people have been talking, Deion Sanders in particular, the hardest thing to do is hit a baseball, hardest thing to do. So I had to think about what would be the hardest things, I think, for me to do in sports. Number 5, to block a pass rush. Not but just because of my size, but I think in general, to block some of the most athletic freaks in the whole world from getting to the quarterback, and that's all they're paid to do. I think that's one of the toughest jobs in sports, is every time you're actually going off on your heels, trying to stay on your toes, while a guy's running full speed at linebacker, corner, or whatever. I think number 5 on my list has to be blocking a pass rush from anybody on the field.
I would say that's one of the most, out of any sport, the most physically demanding for someone. So I would agree it needs to be in that top 5.
All right. Number 4, not just because of the pressure, because of how hard it is stopping a penalty kick. I think being a goalie in general in soccer is hard. I think it can be very boring at times when the game's on the other side of the field and you're just kind of sitting there. It can be a very relaxing job, but in the moment of a penalty kick, whether it's the World Cup or whatever it could be, there is no more pressure and nothing harder to do than stop a PK. usually it's the other guy making a mistake more than the goalie making a save. It's very rare you see a couple of goalies make saves sometimes or guess the right way. They're almost saying you have to guess the right way to get it. Anything you're having to guess to be successful at is not a good thing. And that's talking about you, Chase, because you are a guess. Anything guess is not successful.
I guess everything. I do.
All right, number 3, and this is something that I think would be hard for anybody. Returning a serve in tennis. 100 miles an hour coming at you as fast as you can. That's like be swatting flies over there. Like,
except for the fact it has to fit within a 10-meter space pretty much. So,
but still, it's coming so fast. I think that would be so hard to do. Andy Roddick, Roger Federer, Nadal, lefty, whatever your case would be, even with the spin on it, I think returning a serve in tennis has to be one of the hardest things in sports.
I mean, I say like I am great at it or anything. My mom, who played college tennis, still beats me, and she's in her 60s. So it's harder to do than you think. But like she plays club tennis and all that stuff, and
it's such a long game. And I'm not talking about like long as in it takes a long time, but it's such a long and like. I think that's why pickleball has gotten so popular. Is it's a shorter game, compact. You can grab a ball. You miss a tennis ball, you have to run like 75 feet to get it sometimes.
Or if you whack it too hard, it goes out to a parking lot. If you whack a wiffle ball, it maybe goes 10 feet higher.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, number 2, guard a wide receiver. There is nothing harder in sports than guarding a wide receiver because
that was going to be what I said. My number 1.
There's again, you don't know what they're doing, and they do. And you were having to backpedal as they run their route that they know is coming from the quarterback, turn your head around, get the ball in place, everything. And the fastest guys in the world play wide receiver. That, to me, is number 2 on my list, is guarding a wide out. Man, could you imagine guarding Cheetah, Tyreek Hill? How hard that would be? And then, next thing you know, here comes Megatron, 6'4". They come in all shapes and sizes, and I think that's what makes it so hard. Because one second you're guarding Lockett for the Seahawks, who's no longer with the Seahawks. Next thing you know, you're guarding DK Metcalf. It's like, what do I do here? And then here comes Gronkowski out to go play. It's crazy. So,
I was going to jump in on that and say, in my view of it is you have to not just do your assignment. You have to be aware of pretty much the quarterback, the receiver, your job, and your other teammates' jobs, because you've got to pass coverages off, you've got to swap, you've got to communicate, and you have to cover the fastest, most athletic guys on the football field that you can be put up against. Then, if that breaks down, you've got to come up and try to tackle some of the strongest running backs like Derrick Henry and stuff.
Yeah.
I think mentally and physically, it needs to be 1 or 2 on your list.
Well, it's number 2. And your surroundings. I mean, how many times are the crossers and you're in man, you're having to dodge everybody else and the referee and all that kind of stuff. It's a tough job.
And you have to be a fighter.
Yeah.
A receiver can be a diva. They don't like to get hit. As a corner, you have to be a dog.
Well, but that would be number 1 if it wasn't for my number 1, which I agree with Dion, is to hit a baseball. The split-second timing, a ball coming at you 100 miles an hour, that if it hits you, it's going to hurt. I mean, it could do a lot worse than that. Break ribs, break thumbs, hit you in the head. That's why they wear helmets now. They used to not wear helmets. But I think, to me, the timing of it, how talented these pitchers are, swerves, curves, slurves. I'm not just saying this because I'm a baseball guy. But I'm just telling you, Dion did cover people, and Dion did hit a baseball. So, and again, now, used to they let these pitchers go a whole game. By the 6th or 7th inning, they would get kind of tired, and it's a little easier. Now, in the 5th inning, they're bringing in a lefty. Then they're bringing in a righty who could throw every pitch in the book. Then they're bringing in a knuckleball guy. Like, that, to me, is why hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
So, yes, Dion is quoted saying that and everything. Only thing I see about that is if you give anybody enough time on training, and these baseball players who are in the pros pretty much focused on baseball more than they did other sports for every year of their life. When you're in high school hitting 90 and you're already hitting it, you're preparing yourself for when you get to that college level, when you get to that pro level. Now, if you throw a Joe in there, like me or you, and say, hey, try to hit this dude's 99-mile-an-hour fastball or any ball, I'm not going to be able to connect probably once.
Yeah.
But you put me out there after I've trained for 10 years, I'll hit it a couple times. Now, you put me out there in a football field, even though I've trained for 10 years, against the best wide receivers day in and day out, and you get me 3 different receivers in the same game, you're going to make mistakes, man. You are not going to be able to be perfect at that.
But still, the best hitter in baseball, there's only 4 or 5 guys that hit 300 now. So 3 out of 10 times. And you're considered a success.
Yes, that's true.
How many other things in sports you can do 3 out of 10 times?
We have joked about this on Final Answer back then. We made jokes about this.
Yes.
That's right.
But not just that, but with a pass rush, you get 1 sack a game. If you give up 1 big sack as an offensive lineman, it's a bad thing. But the pass rush, you only got to get to the guy 1 time. One time.
So
you got to be 99% as a pass blocker, but you can only be 3% as a. But that one sack could change the game.
So interestingly, though, with how you're talking about like the speed of things and stuff, lacrosse is making more of an impact in nationwide sports. And if you see some of the skills that it takes to play that game, can you imagine a ball the size just a little bit smaller than baseball?
Yeah.
Coming at you from,
you
don't even know if it's in their net or not. I've seen some people fake people out with the swings of the net, and then it comes 10 feet from the net.
So would lacrosse be one of the ones? Is there anything else?
Being the coordination of lacrosse in general is a very, very tough sport, but gymnastics, like if you were to do the uneven bars or the rings and stuff like that, something that physically is so demanding that nobody's ever really experienced. Those things, again, though, training over time makes you capable. Well, I think your list was very great.
But again, the only thing I could really, everybody's like, what about basketball? Basketball's the best athletes in the world. But there's so many people that get open shots. I could shoot an open shot in basketball. If I miss somebody guarding, there's usually somebody behind you that can help you out.
Yeah, you're one of the best players if I had to choose a 3-on-3 team or something.
But again, to me, it's like those are the 5 best. Like I said, I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, I think
hopefully you agree. Remember, link, subscribe. Shout out to Kyle, Christian, Josh, top 3 on the bracket so far. Don't worry, your boy's coming. I wish I had submitted my other bracket for there because it would even be close.
Make sure you like and subscribe and the Instagram, or else you can't win the prize on the bracket.
And obviously, when I did my 5 stars, chances on the other side of this, he did not disappear. I promise you, he's still here.
Invisible.
Invisible, yeah. 5 stars. Tide and Tigers.